Feel nervous at all?
No. Nope. I slept fine last night. I wasn't nervous to fall asleep. More so I just want to get to like mile like 16 and 17 and know I'm still feeling really good. And that's it. That's like the only thing I want right now. On those first 16 miles to be knocked down and get to the point where I can start negative splitting. Once I get to the point where I can start negative splitting, so you know you're in a good spot. But if you get to a point where you planned on negative splitting and negative splits aren't coming, that makes for a tough day.
We have rehearsed this time and time again throughout the last couple weeks and months during this prep. I knew what race day looked like because we replicated it. We tested it during these big 18, 20, 22 mile workouts. I knew what I was gonna eat. I knew when. I knew what supplements I was gonna take. This was a prep for me that I can confidently say there was never a day where I doubted the sub 250 marathon. One of my favorite things we do is traveling to certain events and documenting the process and bringing the whole team with.
Give me one.
The BPN media team and creative team, we flew out from Austin, Texas to Buffalo, New York.
Here we go again.
A few days prior to the race and landed in Buffalo, and instantly energy was high. Everyone was just feeding off of it. Welcome to Buffalo, New York.
First stop from the airport before the hotel, we're at Wegmans.
It was kind of time to just prep. Instantly, the BPN media and creative team went and scouted locations. They did a recon of the course. They met with the race and course directors, and we kind of just got eyes on the land, eyes on the course, so that when race day came, everyone knew their job. They knew where they were filming, what they were responsible for. And it's really cool and fun to sign up for these races as an entire team. With that being said, there's also this responsibility and obligation to help people as a guide reach their goals as well. We have seen the impact these videos that we create leave by other people being inspired and motivated through that process and journey. Doing a prep and documenting it in the journey, we know that we can change hundreds of thousands of lives by documenting it and telling the story and showcasing it the right way.
Man, this is nice weather. Moody.
Beats Texas weather, that's for sure.
And the day before the marathon, we went and did a shakeout run. So it was a little over 2 miles. It's a nice, easy shakeout run, and it's coming off of about a 10 to 12 day taper. Volume, intensity of training decreases. You have all these carbs in your muscles. You go out for this 2 mile run, and the only way to describe it is you want to sprint. You want to just open the gates and go all out.
Morning shakeout is complete. Based off of that, the taper, the carb up, the build, the prep, the last couple months, it's all paid off. Like, I feel super strong today. So now all we gotta do is, we got less than 24 hours to get more carbs in, hydrate, stay off our feet, and go into tomorrow morning fresh, fast, fit, and healthy.
So in 2017, when I got out of the Army, I told myself I would never run a day in my life again. And a few short months later, I was signed up for my first marathon ever, which was the Austin Marathon.
I want to challenge myself to something long distance endurance.
And the only way to describe it is that it was a complete shit show. I ended up running 3 hours, 57 minutes, I hit the wall at mile 14, 15, and the remainder of the race was just trying to hold on. And it was a combination of walking, jogging, cramping, and looking back, I didn't prepare properly. I didn't know what I was doing. And I learned a lot from that race. And then when I signed up for my second marathon, which is the Austin Marathon the following year, I went into it with that same expectation, which is probably why I ran slower. I ran a 4-hour and 15-minute marathon. And for me at that point, endurance was that. It was struggling through something. I didn't know what preparation looked like. I didn't know what racing an actual race looked like or felt like. I thought it was supposed to suck the entire way, and that was endurance for me. None of the races that I've done leading up to where I'm at now are failures. They are just stepping stones in the journey of, for this endurance, for marathons. And everyone starts at a different point. Everyone is currently at a different point. And that's what my endurance career, if you will, has been. Well, what else can I do?
You can do the damn finish, let's go!
I then said, I want to run a sub 3-hour marathon. And then I said, let's do the sub 250 marathon. Now I knew when I signed up for the Buffalo, New York Marathon and I started the prep with Jeff, while the goal was to cross the finish line in under 2 hours and 50 minutes, the goal, the vision, the impact was much larger than that. It was not about a medal. It was not about a ribbon. It was not about a bib. It was to take people through the journey of what it takes to train for and prepare for a marathon and PR.
Now this is what I do every single night before going to bed.
Whether it's your first marathon or it's your 50th, it doesn't matter. Our goal was to help you improve upon your race and learn. So my first hack that I want to talk about in regards to endurance training is all about salt. And we wanted to see thousands of people PR their next race. That was the impact we wanted to leave. So when I show up to toe the line for a race, I am dialed in. Nothing else really matters for that moment of time. I don't see anything except a mile ahead of me of where I'm gonna spend the next 6 minutes and 20 seconds. I went out pretty hot. I think Jeff knew I would.
We go all the time. And I think restraint is the key. When we woke up this morning, I said, the hardest thing is gonna be going out and running 6:20, 6:25 the first mile.
Jeff told me just hold a 6:25 minute per mile pace. I went out and I think my first mile might have been like a 6:15. It felt good, it felt right. I was gonna hold this as long as possible. And from mile 1 to mile 5, it went quick.
We're heading to the 5-mile mark. Handwritten shit that I did here. We're gonna go left. Make sure everybody's feeling good. I have no reason to suspect it won't be. Yeah, all right. Good, nice and smooth, stay relaxed. Let it be boring. You doing good?
Yep, good.
Okay, good. Turn your brain off, pull back, and just relax. Let's hit some 620s, pull back. Jesus. So he's run 6:15 pace for the first 5 miles. So he's doing great, out a little hot.
Mile 6 felt like I might have went out a little too hot. But by mile 9, I felt like I was just cruising. It was effortless.
Here, my strong suspicion, because we're close to the race course here, right?
Oh, right here is all those.
Oh, sorry. We'll figure it out, boys. Good, Nick. You're at 62:40. Good. How you feeling? Good. Hey, just lock in, just dial it in and be really, really relaxed. Really don't go any faster. I mean, you've got so much time banked, you can pull it back and just keep it super relaxed until 20. Good, Nick. He's flying. He's running a different race. But honestly, for him, when it's 59 degrees, 6:15 pace isn't super difficult for him right now. He's the most intentional person I know. He decided he's feeling good and he can lock in on 6:15s, so feeling good.
The first 18 miles of that marathon, there were highs and there were lows as expected. But for a marathon like Buffalo, I mean, we have these small changes in elevation and terrain, but relatively it's a fast, flat course. But these highs and lows are more mental than physical. You start to feel something, which makes you a little nervous for how that's gonna affect mile 21, mile 22, and mile 23.
We're just rolling through 15, so things feeling good. It's crunch time now. Now, I mean, you know, the first 15 to 16 miles is just a setup, right? If you ain't bored, you ain't doing it right. The first 15 to 16 miles of a marathon. So the race actually starts right now.
The thing about a marathon is that a marathon isn't supposed to be easy. Marathons aren't easy. You don't sign up and train for a marathon for mile 1 to 18. Mile 1 to 18 is just to get you to that last 8 miles. You sign up and you train for a marathon from mile 18 to 26.2. That's where you're tested. There will be a point where it gets hard. And the question you have to ask yourself is, what do you do? How do you act? How do you respond when it gets hard?
That's him. Struggling, man. Yeah, he's hurting. We got some time, so don't feel the need to press. You're gonna hit some downhill in the shade, okay? Let's just manage it. Let's go, baby. Come on now. Let's go. Come on.
Jeff is an amazing coach. He is so personally invested in every single athlete he coaches and trains. Jeff had more stress and anxiety going into this race than anyone else. Jeff was on the verge of a mental breakdown.
Can we get to the course that way, or do we need to get out here? Do you understand what I'm asking you? And we can calculate at 6:20 pace. Boys, we're fucking stuck.
Jeff knows that in a marathon, anything can change. Meanwhile, I had all the confidence in the world. I knew I was coming in that finish line, sub 250. At that same time, I could feel this little thing in my hamstring, which wasn't a pain, it wasn't a pull, it wasn't a cramp, but it was a little pulse. If you run a race before, you know that pulse is leading to a cramp. So I tried to get out ahead of it as much as possible. We're at aid stations, I was grabbing salts, energy gels every 5 miles. By mile 22, 23, those pulses got a little stronger. And there was a point where that cramp grabbed and my whole lower body seized up. And I stopped for a brief second, threw another salt tab in my mouth, and I took a really quick inventory of my life as I knew it right there. I spent the last couple of months training for a sub 250 marathon. There were hundreds of people who signed up for that race to be a part of maybe their first or 10th marathon, but also race a race with the BPN team. I had an obligation or responsibility to show up for them. I'm gonna run through this cramp whether it rips my hamstring off or not. So I started running again, and over the next half mile, that cramp just disappeared. kept loading up on salts, I was able to pick my pace up a little bit. I knew I was coming in that finish line, sub 250.
And welcome to our new marathon prep series. I'm just gonna do a nice, easy 7 miles. All right, so that's the workout. All right, guys, so today's workout is a 22-mile workout. Today I have 10 miles on the schedule. We're about 3 weeks out from Buffalo, New York. This was the last really big workout.
When you commit to something and you show up day after day, brick by brick, and you work as long as it takes, whether a year, 5 years, 10 years, to make that happen, the result of that is so powerful. And your goals come to life, your PRs, your accomplishments, the things that you want to do, they become real. But you can't do that unless you commit to something and see it through. You'll never discover where your full potential really is because you're constantly on this journey, this path to discover it. You'll get pretty close, but you'll never fully reach it because there's always more you can do.